Greetings. My name is British Brother Nia. I'm from the National Association of Black Supplementary Schools. This is NABSS TV, and we are interviewing two sisters from the Phoenix Academy based in Leicester, UK. So please introduce yourself, please, Camille.
Okay, so my name is Camille London Mayo, and I'm the principal of the school.
Julie?
Sorry, my name's Julie Walters Nesbitt, and I'm the science lead at the school, and myself and Camille are founding members.
Okay, and explain the name of the school. How did you find the name?
Phoenix Agenda was an original charity that was set up by one of the other co-founders. So there's three of us in the management committee, and Phoenix Agenda was originally set up by George Cole and some other friends, and what they did was they wanted to track how Black children developed, how they progressed over a 5-year period in a local secondary school. So the original idea was about looking at Black achievement within a specific context. And that happened. And then a report came out in 2018 that established that the underachievement of African Caribbean children in Leicester was still as low as it had ever been, and that in comparison to other groups within the East, our children were still not achieving. So as a result of that, we decided to set up Phoenix Agenda Supplementary. And that happened last year.
Last year, okay, 2019.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And who are the other persons? You mentioned Mr. Cole.
George Cole, yeah.
Who are the other personalities involved in setting up the school?
It's us three.
Oh, you three, okay.
Yeah,
all
it's
right.
just us three.
And what are the low points in actually trying to set the school up? What are the struggles?
Well, oh, that's you, Julie, sorry.
That's me. We've dished out our question set. Right. We started the school in September and we were ticking along nicely. We had a really good, successful first autumn term. And then we started our spring term and we were ticking along nicely. Our children were stepping up their GCSE study, getting used to the routines. We do 40 minutes of English, maths and science every Saturday morning, with a break in between, and just lots of positive affirmation. And then lockdown hit. And for us, for a little while, it left us in a spin. And then we were like, right, we need to get back in touch with our children. We need to make sure that they're okay. And then Zoom came about. So we started contacting our parents, and they were very keen for us to get back involved with their children's education. We started with light touch mentoring, making sure they were getting work from their schools, and if they weren't, encouraging the parents to chase them getting work from their schools. We lost some of our boys along the process because they needed the personal interaction and the thought of being on a computer instead of coming to the centre, seeing people. You know, for some of them, it became a part of their community contact. You know, they'd stay behind and have their chicken and dumplings after they finished supplementary school, etc. But we'd lost all that. We were thinking about our high points of the year as well. And we managed to get one trip in as a school, and we all went to see Harriet Tubman one Sunday afternoon.
Okay, your film.
You know, and our children really enjoyed that, and then could reference that in other conversations we had with them during lockdown and mentoring. We were very fortunate to get some funding for a summer programme. So in Leicester, our holidays begin the second week in July, and we put together a 6-week programme for them because Leicester has been in lockdown since March, sir. Looking at karate with one of our positive role models in the community. They did drama with one of our Leicester Black teachers. They did spoken word with another community activist. And then we did some football with them in the park, of course, observing the 6-person rule. But because we have families where we have 2 youngsters in one family, we were able to coordinate that. And I said to Camille, I personally felt that was a high point for myself, because through that long 6 weeks of lockdown, and then we never came out when the rest of the country came out. We were getting our children to physically exercise at home doing karate, but they were also exercising their mind with the spoken word, the drama, and we did some financial literacy with them. And then when we saw them in the park, I said to Camille, just being children and playing football and interacting with one another, socially distancing, of course, with their sanitizer, for the parents, they were like, oh gosh, you know, to see them running again, it was just amazing. And lots of our parents are key workers who work in healthcare and education as well. And that was definitely a high point for myself.
Excellent. Beautiful, sir. So when you was indoors, what kind of premises were you using?
We're based at the African Caribbean Centre in Maidstone Road in Leicester.
Okay.
So we had a seminar room, another big room, and then we had access to the building, but obviously we had those two areas that we used.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I'm just hearing the things that you're doing with the children, a lot of life skills stuff you're doing with the children. Is this more than on a Saturday, or was it during the week as well?
Yeah, we started in September. We began doing Wednesday evenings as well, and that was fundamentally because we know that with a lot of parents, we're still trying to get hold of our boys, right? And with a lot of the boys, they do sports on a Saturday, so they do their football, they do whatever it is, they do it on a Saturday. So we had parents saying, well, if you could offer us another evening in the week, then we'd more likely get them to that. So we've opened up on a Wednesday evening now. Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. And this is what I've been saying for a while. Our Saturday schools, our supplementary schools are more than just ABC and curriculum. There's a lot of life skills stuff going on and extra curriculum stuff going on. Some of the stuff that even mainstream schools don't even do. And
absolutely.
It's so essential that we have our supplementary schools and our businesses come in and support them. So what kind of support do you get from local businesses or from the community outside?
Well, to be honest with you, our community, I mean, we're still getting to be known. I mean, we've been running for a year and we're really pleased that we've been running for a year and we're still viable. The support that we get from our parents is fundamental, obviously, because the children come to the school. But the other point is that some of our parents have their own little initiatives or enterprises that they're doing. And so indirectly, we get support through them. This year, we have, for the first time, actually gone out to businesses and said, we are here. Mm-hmm. We haven't had anything back yet, but we've gone out. We've put out an advert in a couple of business journals and things like that, in a hope to do that. And that's something that, you know, I think as a supplementary school, we need to work on, because, you know, from the start, we said that the school has to be in the community, but the only way it will work is if we, as a community, we all work to make it happen. And so it's not just about our parents, but it's about the community at large. So that's one of our strategic bits for the coming year.
Yeah.
Is it worth saying as well, sorry sir, is it worth saying as well, Miss, that we have community mentors who've been...
That's coming up later, Miss.
Okay, thank you. But they come from the community.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. Yeah. Beautiful, excellent. And you touched on a bit about the parents. What kind of feedback are you getting from parents?
Wonderful feedback. I mean, what we did when Julie spoke about the summer program that we did, and there was an aspect of the summer program at the end where we had like a celebration or a rewards event that kind of like just summarized what had happened over the year, but also how they participated in this program. And parents really have been very grateful for the work that we've been doing. I should say that what we've tried to do throughout the year is we always have, each half term, we have a parents' morning. And in that and it normally comes at the end of supplementary school. Mm-hmm. And so we have that once every half term. So we we've built in feedback from parents. So parents, we get together each half term, we talk about what we're planning to do the next half term, and then we also then we ask parents to tell us, give us feedback on what they want, what they think we could have done better, and that's been very powerful.
Excellent.
Very, very powerful.
And have you had parents actually learning what the children are learning as well at the same time?
Yes,
probably
Julie,
more online. Yeah,
definitely, because they're in the building when the children are learning. So it's been brilliant. I mean, we ran Julie ran a primary science event during the summer alongside the summer school, and the parents were as involved in those experiments as those children were.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We had to, with it being lockdown as well, we had to kind of give them the shopping list and give them the 5 to 6 days to get the ingredients that they needed, isn't it? And obviously some of our children were very upset if they didn't have the right ingredients. And it was about getting them to do practical science, which is missing so much from the primary curriculum now. We did everything from dissecting a chicken leg to making your own volcanoes. And
well, the chicken
one of my... Yes, it was.
Yes,
and one of my boys
yes,
got very upset that the chicken got cooked before he could dissect it. But we had a few moments, yes.
Yeah, so you mentioned you had a summer school. I mean, obviously in 2020 now we've had a lockdown, but did you still manage to have a summer school?
Yeah, that was our summer program. So what that meant was, the activities that Julie spoke about earlier, the spoken word and all of those things, those happened during the weeks. And then in the summer, on the Saturday, they had their English, maths, science. And also we run a cultural enrichment program. And that runs straight through the year as well on different topics: history, leadership, relationships, community, but all from an African-centric perspective.
Beautiful. So glad to hear this. This is absolutely beautiful. And with the schools in the area, or with the schools that the children go to, the mainstream schools, do you have any interaction with them?
Yeah, well, we work as teachers within Leicester. So obviously we have the link there. But in addition to that, part of our work is about building up links with our children and with the schools that they go to. So some schools are willing to, work with us. Others are not so willing, but that's a work in progress.
Yeah, great. The link is there, so that's excellent. Absolutely excellent. So, what's the outlook for the future? But bearing in mind we've got lockdown in 2020, but what's the outlook for the future?
Well, we are working remotely now.
That working?
For us, it's working because it means now, I mean, as I said, Julie and I are both teachers, and, what has happened is that we're able to access Black teachers that we know, not just in Leicester, they could be anywhere. So maths teachers, there's a shortage. So, and there's a shortage everywhere, but Black maths teachers, it's another thing altogether. So, part of what we do, Julie and I both are trade unionists, and we are part of a national network of Black teachers. Okay. So what that has meant is that we can tap into Black teachers that we know that might be willing to support us in what we're doing. And again, remotely, that is a work in progress.
If they're all over the country working remotely.
Yes, exactly. So going, yeah.
This seems to be like the best thing that's come out of lockdown and the Black Lives Matter movement. The best thing that's come out is that we've actually literally been forced to go online, but all the schools across the board are benefiting from it. Like I'll keep on saying before, 2015, when we had the austerity cuts, I thought that, a lot of supplementary schools lost their funding. I thought, the next step is to go online, but many schools still maintain the face-to-face premises and kept it going. But we're literally now with our backs against the wall. We've had to do it, and it's working.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd always said, hadn't we, Miss, that we needed to be self-funding, that we didn't want to be dependent on funding. While it gives us a chance to enhance and include more enrichment for our young people, from day one we said that we needed to be viable. We needed to be able to self-fund this for ourselves, for us, by us, yes?
Yes.
And going forward, you know, we want to try and reach more young people. The hardest group to reach is the group that we originally set out to get, the Black African Caribbean boys that are underachieving in our areas. During lockdown, you know, we had potential students from London and Birmingham because, like you said, it's virtual, but it's about getting our own community to recognise the possibilities of prevention instead of cure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, and, you know, as Julie said, you know, we have had people from other areas, but Phoenix came out of the report that came out saying our children in Leicester are underachieving. This is not to say all of our children are underachieving, because this is the reason why we're involved in this. Our children, you know, as academics, our children, we know the buttons to push. We know what we need to do. But what we want is to make sure that every child has that. Every child has that support, and every Black child has that push. So one of the things that we've done is we have a radio show that goes out on a Sunday. No, it goes out on a Monday, sorry. It goes out on a Monday. And it just talks about education. And we talk about education, we talk about things that we want our parents to be informed about. So I've done programs on T levels, you know, things that we need to know, directives that are coming out of government in terms of home learning, you know, different things that are coming out. We use that as a platform to inform our community, to inform our parents about what is happening in education, and to give that stimulus that is not actually there, or they're not accessing it. So that's one of the things that we've been pushing on. We got some funding from the lottery to support our academic mentoring program. And but we were doing that anyway. We were doing it anyway, but you know, we were, yeah, exactly. But again, as Julie said, everything that we do is about being self-funding. So even though we got some funding, our aim is to be able to take this, you know, because this mentoring program that we're running now is phase 2. We already started running it back in February. So it's all running alongside the teaching that goes on in terms of the English, maths and science, because we can't get away from that. The understanding and the knowledge that in terms of the government and what they're saying right now, because of Corona and what's happening, that they may be considering getting children to just do English, maths and science for 2021, and the rest of the subjects be done on a centre assessment grade. Now, our focus has always been English, maths and science. So consequently, you know, we're in the right position to be able to say, look, this has been our focus, and this is the reason why we've been doing it, because this was always going to be on the cards in some shape or form. So, and I think so going forward, we've got the mentoring, the school is still working. We are providing functional skills literacy. We're looking at providing functional skills literacy to 16 to 18-year-olds, because again, in terms of the African Caribbean community, they're a group who, some of our young people are leaving school with no English, no maths. That can't work. So we can't do everything. We know we can't do everything, but you know, being part of our community, being educators, we absolutely know where the areas our young people are falling down on. And so we're hoping to make some contribution to improving their lots and improving what happens with them going forward.
I'm sure you absolutely and totally are making fantastic contributions. So do you have any interaction with home educators?
Yes, yes, they're about a third of our community. About
Yeah.
about a third of our community at Phoenix are home educators.
Excellent.
And children that are being homeschooled. And obviously, because of Corona, we've seen a rise in that. But again, Phoenix Agenda provides an umbrella for them to be able to use our facilities, use the support that we give, in addition to whatever else they're doing with their young people. So yes, we do have homeschoolers who work with us.
Excellent. I'm so glad to hear it. So I have a few home education networks, and it's the same theme I keep on saying to them: make sure you get some support from our supplementary schools.
Absolutely.
Don't alone all the time.
Absolutely.
They can keep in touch, and that way they can keep in touch with current trends and current curriculum activities as well. So brilliant, absolutely fantastic. What else is there? What else do you want to add?
One of our low points, actually, I've forgotten, Camille, was that we planned to go along to the Big Bang Science Fair at Birmingham NEC with our young people and parents in March. Obviously, Corona scarpered that. It went virtual online, and I know some of our children attended because it tied in with the first week of the summer holidays here in Leicester. But we definitely think that STEM, and particularly with our primary cohort, is the way to move forward for our young people. We have a sister organisation here in Leicester called Reach, who did a really good careers day last year, and we plan to take our young people to that so that they could see positive role models in different careers.
Oh, is that the Reach Society?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we try and, dip into other community organisations where we can. One of our other young people did some work with the museum. So we try and share opportunities with our parents that are, like you say, online now, but enrichment in general for our young people to take part in. For example, we did some work with the Stephen Lawrence Centre, and their main program leader, Dr. Canetta Perry, did actually a relationship session with our young people in summer, which, I never heard a lecturer till I went to have lectures, but they had a positive black female role model talking to them about school and relationships and going forward. And that's an organisation we're keen to keep up our ties with here in Leicester because it's based in Leicester. Unfortunately, it's closed at the moment, the Stephen Lawrence Centre, but we recognise the need to expose them to opportunities that they don't necessarily get in 9-to-5 school, especially now because school trips and enrichments aren't really happening. Nothing's happening in lots of schools after school, and nothing's happening in terms of school trips. Because unfortunately here in Leicester, we're still in lockdown.
Sorry.
There's Rihola Pitata. Have you heard of her? She's very hot on STEM in our community. She does a lot of support with around the country. So yeah.
Tell me her name again, sir. Sorry.
Rihola Pitata. I'll send you some.
Okay, send us the links. Okay. Yeah.
She used to run a supplementary school, and she kind of steps more into STEM. She's really pressing the STEM. She's doing a lot of events online about STEM and discussion. So yeah, I'll put you in touch with the sister, and her information does go out on the NABSS newsletter when the stuff comes out. So keep an eye on that as well. But so Camille, Julie, absolutely fantastic what you're doing with the Phoenix Agenda in Leicester. Absolutely fantastic. This is the kind of great news that has to come out about our supplementary schools up and down the country. So I'm doing my best to do that because what you're doing is absolutely fantastic, absolutely essential. And our community needs to get behind our supplementary schools physically and financially.
Yes.
And keep this going.
Absolutely.
We should have had our full-time schools from time, but the next best thing is our supplementary schools. We've been around since the 60s. So people, when you see these videos and hear about these people in these schools, get behind them. Either offer your services physically or offer some change and support them financially. Because everybody, we've all got our full-time jobs, we've got our own families, but we're still, and it's literally a full-time job running a supplementary school. Literally.
It is.
The curriculum, the planning, everything. It's literally a full-time job.
Yep, it sure is.
So please, people, just get behind these supplementary schools up and down the country. There's no more excuses. So Julie, Camille, thank you so much for what you're doing. And I
Pleasure.
hope the community will come out and support you in all the supplementary schools up and down the country. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.